Hi, I'm Michael Jones. I'm one of the pastor teachers at the Orange View Church of Christ in Orange County, California. Our congregation's dealing with the coronavirus event, just like everybody else in the world, and as a result of that, right now we're not able to assemble together collectively. So we produce these daily devotional videos to enable our members and anyone else who might need them or desire them to grow in their spiritual life while we're practicing social isolation. And speaking of social isolation, I broadcast each day from a different isolated location, and today I'm broadcasting from the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. I'd like to take a look today at the subject of materialism as it relates to our spiritual life. In Matthew 16 and verse 26, Jesus said, "What good will it be for a man if he gains the whole world yet forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" In February of 2006, the Powerball lottery was up to $365 million. Turns out that lottery was won by a group of 8 co-workers who were working together at the ConAgra food plant in Lincoln, Nebraska. They came in and announced that they had won that $365 million jackpot. They elected to take as their prize the lump sum distribution of $124.11 million, and each of the 8 workers got $15.5 million apiece. You know, I got to tell you, just as a brief aside, that when I was a kid, the lottery was called Running the Numbers, and it was operated by the mafia. Now it's run by the government. There's a political commentator that I read one time who said he liked the lottery because it was the only effective way to tax the poor. You know, I'll tell you that as I think about that, that's a really good reason to not support the lottery. I would encourage you to keep that in mind and stay away from it. It's simply not something that God's people need to be involved with. But people are very much involved with it, and the reason why is because they're fascinated with money. They want a real big pile of it. They think it will give them everything that makes life worth living. Houses, cars, travel. Some people are so absorbed with wealth and material things that they believe that their whole purpose and value in life is derived from that. Paul said in 1 Timothy 6 and verse 6 and following that godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, with that we shall be content. People who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge men into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and have pierced themselves with many griefs. Paul says very directly that godliness with contentment is great gain. But we really struggle for that. We struggle with that because we live in a country where we have plenty of things, and as a result of that, we oftentimes find ourselves just enraptured with the accumulation of stuff. We even have a proverb that says that you need to keep up with the Joneses. Well, let me tell you, I am a Joneses. I ain't worth keeping up with. If you want to try to keep up with me, just focus on your spiritual life. That's a whole lot more important. Somebody said that greed is really the logical result of a belief that there is no life after death. So we grab what we can, while we can, however we can, and hold on to it hard. I think that's accurate. Jesus again said, "What good will it be for a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" Brothers and sisters, I know that there is more to life than what we see in this life. Money and material things are not the most important things in life. As the proverb says, the most important things in life are not things. They will all be done away. As Paul reminded Timothy, you brought nothing into this world, and it's a certainty you ain't taking nothing out. It's 2020, and recently there were 3 celebrities that died. Musician Kenny Rogers, actor Kirk Douglas, and athlete Kobe Bryant. All 3 of these guys were famous in their fields, and now all of that fame is gone. They were all fabulously wealthy from the success that they enjoyed, but they didn't take any of that with them. Regardless of how successful you are in this world, it's only a vapor that appears for a moment and then is gone. Our life will pass. Every single person listening to me right now will die. And when you do, what you traded away for what you had in this world, if it was your spiritual life, was a terrible idea. In Hebrews 11 and verse 25 it says, "By faith Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, and chose instead to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a short time." The temptation to find pleasure in this life can take on many different forms, and Christian people are certainly not immune to that temptation. But one of the most common ways in which people are tempted is the pursuit of pleasure or the pursuit of material items. It's just not where we need to put our focus. In Matthew 13, verses 44 and following, Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went out and sold all that he had and bought that field." In verse 45, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. And when he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything that he had in order to get it. If you want to hit the real jackpot is found in the kingdom of heaven. That's the genuine treasure, the greatest of all. Put your focus on attaining that. As you go through your day today, I recognize that you're going to interact with money, you're going to interact with material things. Just remember as you handle and touch those things that stuff will soon be gone. But you won't be. Make sure your emphasis is properly focused where it should be, not on the things of this world where rust destroys and moth eats and corrupts, but instead on the things of God where thieves can't break in and steal. Well, I hope our time in the Scripture today has been helpful for you. I'll be back again tomorrow from another isolated location.